and welcome to Pale Blue Pod. This is the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but still want to be its friend. I'm your host, Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist, a folklorist, and a good friend to the universe, and I'm recording today from my office here at Pale Blue Podiversity, and I'm expecting a guest. Grace Johnson is a comedian, and she's here to talk with me about space colonization, which is an exciting topic that I'm surprised I haven't covered more on the pod. So she should be here any minute now. I think I hear her walking down the hall. Hey, Grace, come on in.
Dr. McTier, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, coming in with the smoky voice.
What's up, everybody?
I'm glad you found my office okay. Is there anything else you would want listeners to know about you before we get started?
I'm a Trekkie, and yes, we are better than all of the Star Wars nerds. Yes, I am igniting beef. Yes, it is important to start that. Also, I have heard that there is some new, I'm gonna say it's new, little like troublesome stuff in the Trekkie universe. Keep all of that basement dweller stuff where it's supposed to be, okay?
Okay.
Don't bring that over here. Gene Roddenberry has imagined a whole new world, okay, where all of that stuff don't exist. Don't bring that stuff over here, man.
That is not welcome here.
Exactly.
I'm also a Trekkie and do not like Star Wars. I've seen like half of one movie and I don't like it.
It's so predictable.
Thank you.
Oh, the Force is gonna do this, and then he's gonna use the Force, and then it's good, and it's bad, and the dark side, and the... Bro, if the dark side won the last movie, the good side gonna win the next movie. Literally, he told you from the jump that there's balance in the universe. So good gotta get a win, evil gotta get a win. It's predictable.
We're starting fights today.
Yes, we are. Star Trek has envisioned a whole new, beautiful, post-money, post-currency, post-religion, post-everything universe. Mm-hmm. We got women captains.
Yes, we do.
We got campy aliens.
Yes, we do. Beautiful, campy, sexy aliens.
Talk about it. We got campy aliens. We got sex planets. We got pleasure planets. We got planets where capitalism is on steroids. You can see anything you want to see, okay? We got Warren planet. We got whatever you want. Your vision of the future, you can see how it's playing out in the Star Trek universe, bro.
Mm-hmm. The ultimate utopia of choice. Whatever you want, you can find it.
And you could just be on a sex planet forever, just marooned on there. And then you're like, wow, this isn't living. Like, that helps you. That's a lesson there, that life is about struggle and strife a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And then you can go to a different planet to, like, follow that journey of self-discovery.
Yes, you can.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Clearly, we need to talk more about Star Trek in the future.
Yes, we do. We must. We
simply must. But I do have some get-to-know-you questions that I think will get at the core of who you are. It's like Stephen Colbert's Colbert Questionnaire.
Let's go.
But
getting to
Pale
know
Blue Pod
you.
form.
Getting to know all about you.
I'm over here dancing. First question gets a little heavy, potentially. When you think about the big universe out there and all that it holds, how do you feel inside?
Small, but curious.
Ooh. I love that. Curious about what?
Everything. I want to touch stuff. And I know you can't. I just know, like, if I went on a spacewalk or something, I would try to take my helmet off. Because they would be like, no, there's no air. And I wouldn't believe them because I would want to test it out for myself.
You'd be like, but I want to smell it. Like, yeah. I need the test.
Thank you. Like, the moon is not made of cheese. How do we know? I would like the omelette du fromage on the moon. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the only way to know for sure.
It's the only way to know for sure. I think they should send me up there so that I can, like, tell everybody what I'm seeing for real. And I think that would be fun. You know? Like, William Shatner went up there and he was like, look, the vastness and emptiness of space made me realize that, like, life is worth living. Earth is the most important thing, you know? Like, shout out to the Goldilocks zone. She really did her thing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She really did. But I don't know that I would be there with William Shatner. I would be like, no, actually, let's find out what's in that black hole. 4D space. I want to enter it. What does it mean? Do I become, like, what happens on the other side of a black hole? I'm so curious about that.
You're answering all the big questions. If you could find a way to come back, I mean.
And that's the issue. Michio Kaku used to teach at my college, and he did this like thing where he was talking about the way that we could like do hyperdrive for real, and he folded this piece of paper and stuff.
Yeah.
We could get there.
We could. It would take a lot of energy. That's what we're working on. Like the people who are trying to figure out how to travel very quickly, that's the limiting factor. We have theoretical ideas for what could happen, but not until we can basically make an entire sun.
Just a little bit. And
just a little sun. It's fine.
These are the issues that I have because I'm incredibly curious. I want to know if there's life out there. I want to know if other Earth-like planets exist. I want to know what other organisms could possibly live off of, because I actually think we might be we're searching for life that like takes in oxygen and puts out carbon dioxide. What if it's opposite? Or what if they are nitrogen-based? There's a whole new stuff that ain't even in the periodic table out there.
That's so true. We have not found all of, like, there's a gap. We haven't found everything. Like, people talk a lot about silicon-based life forms because the silicon molecule and the oxygen molecule have the same number of electrons on the outside, so they can bond to other things in similar ways. But, like, people say, oh, but that you can't have that in an atmosphere with oxygen. Who says the atmosphere needs oxygen?
Who says? And so this is my thing. We are using our knowledge and being a little bit too hubristic in that sense. But while I bring up hubris, I will say it also brings me to the topic that I told you I wanted to talk about, which was space colonization. Because while I am curious and absolutely want to touch, taste, feel, sense everything, I don't know if we're supposed to be up there.
We're going to get into it because I agree with you.
I don't know if we're supposed to be up there. And not with our current like way that Earth functions.
Exactly. So, listeners, this isn't going to be a debate. This is going to be two probably very like-minded people just having a gab sesh.
Because I don't know. I'm really curious. I would love to see and touch stuff. I love planetariums as well. They're some of like my favorite places to be in the world. Any city I go to where there's a planetarium, I will go. I love that the Hayden Planetarium in New York right now, they switched the voice from, it was Whoopi Goldberg for a very long time. And now it's Lupita Nyong'o. And I was like, nice. You know, I'm really an OG when I can sense that the voices change.
Back in my day.
It was Whoopi Goldberg. You know, shout out to Lupita. I respect you. But yes, I don't know if we're supposed to be up there. I don't even know that space exploration at this current point is coming from a place of pure curiosity and like trying to connect with the universe and other things that might be out there. It does seem, it's not. Yeah, it seems very much like a Columbus, very much a consume, subsume, destroy.
Extract. Yeah.
Yes. How can we be extractive from the universe? Yeah, I'm of two minds on it, because if we could capture an asteroid that has like all of the gold that we need and truck it back here, and then we don't have to do deep sea exploration and destruction for gold to make semiconductors and stuff. Okay, I'm cool with that. But also, who gave us the hubris to think that we could?
And who gets to profit off of that? And like, who owns these space resources? Oh, we're going to get into it. I have a whole section about asteroid mining that I wanted to talk to you about. But I'm not done getting to know you.
Let's go. You see, I got the ADHD works. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. Yes, she does. Do you feel like your zodiac sign fits who you are as a person?
Unfortunately, yes. I am a Cancer sun. I am a Sag moon, which means I am constantly at odds, right?
I know very little about it.
Yes.
In odds in what way?
Okay, so the Cancer kind of like represents home, hearth. We are depicted as a crab. So like our shells are very protective, but we have juicy, meaty insides that are very tender, and we're not safe at a Red Lobster. And so, yeah, it's home, hearth, the things that like are very nurturing. Sometimes it's depicted as like kind of motherly. And then Sag is the adventurer, which is depicted by a centaur with a bow and arrow, like shooting towards wherever, right? And so that's a hunter. He's like adventurous. He wants to see, explore, interact with nature and the world. And
there's tension there.
Exactly. And so I see myself sort of like on one hand, a Disney princess. Because a Disney princess is a perfect Sagittarius. She has been told by her Cancer mom, or like, think Rapunzel. Mother Gothel just wanted to keep her in that tower the whole time with her bust down yaki, you know, like her bust down weave. She didn't want nobody to get at the weave. But she wanted to explore. She wanted to see the world. She wanted to get out there. And yes, I feel at odds in that way because I am also like huge introvert. I'm sure people can't tell. But I am a stand-up comic. I'm on stage every night.
Performers often are, though, as a fellow introvert performer. It's like, you know, we're stepping into a different persona, a different zone, a different setting when we're on stage. Like, that's, when I'm talking, that's Dr. Moiya, right? Like, that's a different person than just, like, regular day Moiya.
Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I have Sasha Mild. And she's ever so slightly turned up. Nothing, you know, nothing too crazy. But turned up, though. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
There's something there.
There's something there.
Nice. Is there any law of physics that you would change if you could?
Objects at rest should not stay at rest. They should mosey. They should mosey ever so slightly.
You're right. Inertia's dumb. We should have the law of moseying. The law of objects taking a leisurely stroll.
Their sweet time, yes. They should mosey. They should walk ever so gallantly through the streets. They should wave hi to their neighbors as they walk by.
That means, like, I'm imagining physicists adding in an extra coefficient into their equations.
Please.
Like, it's not friction anymore. It's like how internally motivated is this object?
Very much so. Like when you boil in water and the atoms start bouncing off each other. What if they were more polite atoms? What if they didn't want to bounce into each other and the water just stayed lukewarm?
Oh. Or what if they did, but every time they, like, apologize? So instead of the tea kettle whistling,
they're
it's
just
a bunch
Canadian
of, I'm so
atoms.
sorry. Oh, oops. Oh.
They're just Canadian atoms. Sorry. Just passing through here. Sorry.
Oh, let me just squeeze on by ya.
Very British atoms. Very Minnesota, Milwaukee atoms. Yeah. What about that?
I'm dying. Yes, okay, I'll put in a word with the universe. Let's get that changed.
Bring Newton back here. I don't know that he knew all that stuff. The apple hit his head and now he like, no, dude.
You're right, he had a grudge.
Come on,
He was very
son.
impolite, that apple.
An apple a day keep a doctor away? Why? Because you threw it at him?
That must be it.
That's the reason, Newton.
Oh, Newton. Okay, and final question. Imagine you're an astronaut. We're about to send you into space for curiosity's sake. And you're in charge of the playlist that we play during your launch. So what song do you want to play right at blastoff?
I'm torn between something very epic or something super silly.
We can do a mashup.
I would like Pocket Full of Sunshine by Natasha Bedingfield. Because I feel like as it's taking off, take me away, that would be so fire.
Yeah.
Got a pocket full of sunshine. You know what I mean? Like that would really hit it. And then if I want to be like in my most introspective, I think like Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve.
I haven't heard someone mention Bittersweet Symphony in a long time.
Yeah.
We do plan on bringing you back. So it's not bittersweet. But yeah, you can play whatever you want.
Try to make ends meet. It would be so fun.
Everyone's sobbing while they watch you fly away.
I think so. We can also do something like, Final Countdown or whatever. But I just think Pocket Full of Sunshine would really... That would encapsulate who I am as a person because I am a silly goose. Okay.
We will add that to the playlist expeditiously. Awesome. Thank you for answering my get to know you questions. I feel like we're here. We're vibing now. So we can talk about space colonization.
And why that girl from Good Luck Charlie needs to be stopped. Her name is Bridget Mendelson. She is the Disney
Mendler, I think.
Yes. And she went to MIT and we were all rooting for Good Luck Charlie. Now Good Luck Charlie about to be Lex Luthor up there. And I'm not for it. She needs to go on and solve world hunger, replicate food, do something.
Here.
Yeah, do something that we need over here. You trying to industrialize space, and I know why. But we'll talk about that later.
We will. There's so much to cover here, from the people who get to make these decisions and the people who get to go up into space, and then thinking about the far-flung possibilities of space colonization, where it's almost like a Star Trek or a Star Wars, where there are multiple human settlements across planets throughout the galaxy. So much to cover. But I want to get your initial thoughts, which I guess you've been sharing a little bit, because when we talked on Instagram, you said you have, and I quote, a lot of opinions about the idea of space colonization.
Absolutely. I think I don't want Elon up there.
Right.
And so it's not even just about him, right? Of course, I have my opinions about the man, but he represents an idea of colonization, imperialism, what have you, that already plagues Earth. And so I don't necessarily know, that manifest destiny. We have the right, the God-given right to exploit
the mission,
all of the resources that are there for us, as opposed to seeing ourselves as one part of nature, part of an ecosystem, part of we too are animals, right? And just seeing how we could be extractive and exploitative without preserving and taking care of. And so my concern is that same idea will also be, and already is, if we're being so frank, applied to untouched space. And the idea of there being a place in the universe that is untouched calms me very much.
You and many others, yeah.
You know, it's like when you see a snowfall for the first time in a park where no one has been able to trample through it. It's so calming.
Nature is beautiful. It's its own system. Absolutely.
It's beautiful, the pure driven snow. But then there's also something fun about a baby going and building a snowman, you know?
Oh, that's an interesting metaphor. Yeah, because the baby has no ill intentions in the snow. That's the key point. That so much of our exploration into the fresh snowfall of the cosmos, so to speak, is that we are not coming in like a baby trying to build an adorable little snowman. We are coming in I don't know, we're like a sewage company coming in and just dumping everything on the ground.
And that's the thing. I use a lot of sci-fi shows to kind of, when I'm doing comedy, to bridge the gap on whatever I'm trying to discuss. And I will give Seth MacFarlane his props, because he had that one show, the name is escaping me, but it was his version of Star Trek with fart jokes and stuff. But I will say that the team on that show did a really good job of imagining the aliens and what metaphors each one would stand for. And there was one alien, his planet, they breathe in smog, right? It is over industrialized, but that is part of their culture. The more smog, the better. The more polluted, the better. There's one episode where the character gets addicted to cigarettes because they remind him of the smog of home. And looking at what he was able to create in that world, right, makes me think of, I really just don't want us to do that to space.
Yes. And the ironic thing about it is that you mentioned William Shatner going up into space and then having that big revelation. People talk about that often when they go up into space. It's a named thing. It's called the overview effect, where when you can see all of Earth at once, it radically changes your perspective on what it means to be a human and a small cog in this great system of Earth. So ironically, the thing that they want to do, send people out into space, I think would make a lot of people not want to carry out that mission.
And that's the thing. I don't know. Especially because, okay, I'm going to venture my personal opinions here. I am working on a joke about the fact that, and it's based on history and historical facts, that each time there was a glut, for lack of better phrasing, of men that a given society considered undesired or not marriageable, or for whatever that society deemed to be the reason. Typically, a war was invented or a new frontier was invented for those men to go explore and presumably die in. Right. So that is the reason why we had the exploration that we did with Columbus during that time, was because
all the Western expansion.
Absolutely. They needed a place to actually go put those men. And I am afraid that, at least for America and Western civilization at this point, where we keep talking about a male loneliness epidemic, where in actuality it's a loneliness epidemic across the board, I am concerned that we might get to a point where there's going to be a bunch of dudes that they are going to shoot off into space to go work there.
That's what Elon wants to do.
And they're going to geek them up off of this idea that, like, you know, you are a frontiersman, just like they did for the westward expansion. The Oregon Trail is going to be in space now. You're going to catch space dysentery. And, you know, you're going to be
that poop just
you're
floating
gonna be
around.
pooping in a tube like they do in the space station.
If they don't run out of tubes. Tubes are rare. You know, they're hard to come by in the West.
Could you imagine you gotta use a tube after somebody done used the tube? That's not good. That's not right. That's not right. At least on Earth you got leaves. Something. They don't have toilet paper up there. You will run out.
No.
So we gotta talk about it, man. Elon trying to send you to space to poop in a tube. You want that? Do you want that to be your legacy? Think about that.
He does. He wants it to be his legacy. His plans keep changing. Like I looked a little bit into them. In 2017, his plan was to have 1 million humans on Mars between 2060 and 2120. He's now rapidly moved up that timeline. He now wants to have people on Mars by 2030. It's actually not happening.
It's not happening. The tech has not and will not reach that point for quite some time.
Exactly. He was talking about, you know, if we could only just figure out how to refuel in orbit, then we'll be fine. And we'll have that by next year, he said last year. He wants to have that by the end of 2025, which isn't happening. It's like these entire ideas about his space colonization and, like, getting to Mars. It's just...
Makes no
dreams.
Sense.
It makes no sense.
I love that ketamine dreams. I'm going to hold that.
Please.
The only thing I could think, okay, if there's refueling, that means you would need to send the rockets that will serve as the hubs for refueling. You would need to send them now so that they could get to their particular spots in the next couple of years.
I think the refueling would be near Earth, not near Mars. But yes, they would eventually need them there too.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, there's no plans for how to actually do things once they get there. They have plans for rockets. Like, he knows his rockets, although they've been blowing up a lot lately, so I don't really know if he knows his rockets. But there's no plan for how to make it a good environment for people. The food, the shelter, the oxygen. Like, he doesn't have that planned out. NASA doesn't even know all that stuff yet.
Exactly. And again, should we go terraform a place? I don't think so. We did it here. That's why the buffalo were almost extinct.
You're so right. We terraformed Earth.
We did. We absolutely did. The buffalo went extinct because that was a form of terraforming. Or even, actually, I have an even better example. In Australia, during the wildfires, I learned that the reason they were so intense was because of the eucalyptus trees, because they have that eucalyptus oil right underneath the bark. So it makes the trees highly flammable. And so with that, there also is the view that to kind of drive the natives out of the areas and the Aborigine folks out of certain areas, those eucalyptus trees were planted to kind of dry up water sources and things like that. But now you terraformed it for a particular reason, and that terraforming is coming back to bite you in the butt. And I just, we've learned so many things here. We have to move differently in space. We just have to.
We have to. And we have learned those steps here, right? Like this is the difference between terraforming the earth, where we force it to serve our bidding, versus what so many indigenous communities around the world have been able to do and work with the earth and do like proper brush burnings and learn how to plant and cultivate local flora and fauna. Like that is like the responsible, curiosity, like sustainability driven type of interaction.
Absolutely. It takes into consideration that we are part of nature. We are nature itself. We are just nature that speaks languages. I think this is now, I'm having an ADHD moment, but like the fact that birds are dinosaurs, right? How do we know that dinosaurs did not speak, you know, in British accents? We don't know
We
that.
don't know.
Because
I mean, in Dinotopia, they can't. Have you seen Dinotopia or like read Dinotopia?
I have to now.
Oh yes, you simply must. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, Bridget's whole thing for the audience and anybody who doesn't know, Bridget's whole thing is that she has set up a company, and the view is to industrialize space. That could be anything from asteroid capture and mining. Getting an asteroid into orbit and then mining it for resources, from diamonds to gold to possibly water, actually, has been flirted with.
Because that might have been how water got here.
Absolutely.
First of all. Yeah.
So I can get that. But you raised a very good point, Doctor, which was, who gonna own that?
Yes. And this has been a point of legal contention for a little bit.
Shout out to all the space lawyers out there.
Yes, I just had a space lawyer on. AJ Link talked about the space treaty of 1967, but apparently there was this other act, the Commercial Space Launch Competitiveness Act from 2015, that kind of gave private companies more opportunity and more leeway than they had in the initial space treaty, which, like, the initial space treaty said no one owns space. Like, no one can claim ownership over a celestial body or a piece of land in space. This keeps that, but instituted this kind of like proprietary period where if a private company finds resources in space, they don't have to report that to the government for a while.
Now you're doing space tax evasion?
They're going to be space robber barons now.
Oh, no. We need the space IRS on this. We need space IRS. Okay, put those eggheads on a rocket and send them to the moon to go catch them.
Just crunching numbers on their typewriters.
Get Al Capone in space. Space Al Capone is trying to do some stuff. Get him. What the hell?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You doing RICO charges in space?
Well, I think they're making it so that you can't do RICO charges
That's ridiculous. You doing RICO in space? That's crazy. Y'all have enough crime here. You want to do crime in space? That's crazy, bro.
Well, you know, space crime is shiny. So
shiny
you gotta try it.
You imagine you rob somebody with a jetpack on. Like, that's so crazy, bro.
Hello, it's me. Grace is playing with the box of kittens that a student dropped off earlier, and I can tell that's going to keep her occupied for at least a few minutes, which gives me enough time to share some messages with you. The first message is a thank you to all of my patrons who support the show every month. As an independent podcaster, it would be so much harder to make Pale Blue Pod without your support, so thank you very much. And I want to give a special shout out and a huge thank you to my Sun-like stars, Scott Reynolds, Tom T., Nicole Bartlett, and Ashley Shambo. You deserve all of the helium that you are forming in your cores, you beautiful golden friends of mine. You can join this awesome group of people. You can hear your name on the show and make it onto my Patreon star chart and get research notes for most episodes for $5 a month at patreon.com/palebluepod. Hotter tiers like my Sun-like stars get access to Pale Blue Pod at night, where I read bedtime stories in a calm, soothing voice. And Blue Giant stars get to see videos of the episode recordings. If you sign up for an annual membership at any tier, you can get a 13% discount for the whole year. That's 1 percentage point for every constellation in the ecliptic, which is the path the sun takes across the sky. But really, any support you could give, even if it's sharing a link to an episode with a friend of yours, is really appreciated. Thank you so much. My next message is a podcast recommendation. It is a new show here at Multitude called Simple and Clean. This is a show where hosts Misha Stanton and Mayana Barron, both of whom have been on Pale Blue Pod before, talk about Kingdom Hearts. It's a little video game franchise about really big feelings. And you can join them as they discuss the plot, characters, world building, music, fashion, fan base, and societal impact of a thing that, by all means, probably shouldn't even exist. Have you never heard of Kingdom Hearts? That's okay. Neither have I before I started talking to Misha and Mayana about it. They are here to break the game down for you, explain why they love it, and hopefully convince you that this weird little story deserves a place in your heart. Each week, they'll attempt to unravel how this deceptively expansive game series has touched an entire generation of deeply earnest weirdos, and along the way, realize that what they're talking about might not be just a video game, but a whole lot more. New episodes come out every Sunday, wherever you listen to podcasts, and I also have a link down in this episode's description to Simple and Clean. Okay, Grace is coming back with 2 kittens in her arms and 1 on her shoulder. I'm sure she's going to be taking at least 1 home with her, but let's give them some more time to bond while Grace and I continue this conversation about colonization in space. There are, by estimates, more than 10,000 easily accessible, quote, easily accessible asteroids around the Earth that we could mine. For rare metals, for water, so it's...
Okay, and now I will do the foil to my own argument, right?
Okay.
If we...
Advocating your own devil.
It's crazy. If we do go capture an asteroid that has all the rare earth minerals that we need, does that mean Congo can be free?
You know it doesn't. Because they're not actually getting these resources for the good of us. They're getting these resources because they're greedy and they want all the profit from the resources. But they're still going to find ways to extort humans here on Earth.
Ah, man. Because that would be the only way that I could see this being a viable thing that I would support is if, similar to how lab-grown diamonds have kind of taken the sting out of the traditional diamond business and have reduced child labor and things of that sort. If we go capture an asteroid and bring it here, mine it for gold, does that mean that the Volta region in Ghana is now free and the water is drinkable for the people who are, indigenous to that area? If that's the case, then yeah, go get the asteroid. I will support it. If that's not the case, then what are we up there for?
Exactly. I think that the way people treat and talk about AI is a good litmus test for how asteroid mining technology and consequences could go, because AI could make it so that a lot of people don't have to do the types of labor they're doing now, but that's not we're just coming up with other things for those people to do, or we're just leaving them on the curbside. So I would love it if asteroid mining went the way that you described. I don't think it's going to. But it also, hasn't really started yet. NASA and JAXA, the Japanese space agency, they've had some success reaching asteroids, taking samples from the surface and successfully coming back to Earth. So we've started it, but no one has mined asteroids yet.
Could you imagine if they lassoed that big boy? And and
just really bring the Wild West out into space.
Absolutely. And lasso that big boy back to Earth. Now come on, little doggy, you gonna give us gold forever. That's funny.
If they were actually going to give us space cowboys and space cowgirls and everything, I would do it.
I mean, NSYNC has a song. They have a song called Space Cowboys. NSYNC,
they have a theme already.
Okay, J.C. Chasez was Octavia Butler. You heard it here first. He envisioned a future. Yes. Yippee-ki-yay. You can
so
wear,
much wisdom in that.
Yeah, and you have to wear assless chaps for the poop tube.
Yes. You know what? This all just makes sense. It's just physics. It's just based on physics. It's sensical.
I'm sorry, everyone. Okay. We're serious again. We're serious.
We're serious. This is risky business. The idea of space colonization, even after you move past the moral question, there's a bunch of logistical questions. say you do it, how do you do it safely? Space is really dangerous. Like, just being constantly exposed to the cosmic radiation of space is like living next to an X-ray machine your entire life. And it's really big, so if you get lost or if your ship breaks down, it's basically like you're in the middle of the Pacific. No one's going to come by to help you.
Space AAA.
Non-existent. We cannot colonize space unless we get space AAA first.
Absolutely. We must need that.
There's also the risk that if you leave the Earth to try and find somewhere else, you won't find another place that's as good as the Earth. Because, we've found thousands of planets, and the vast majority of them seem to be not like Earth. They orbit different types of stars, or they're different sizes with different atmospheres. And we don't know how to terraform, but even with the best sci-fi terraforming technology, it can only go so far. Like, it's not going to change the gravity of a planet. It's not going to change the sun.
I absolutely agree with you. I will take it just a scooch further and say that this is where folks who are irreligious or atheists who don't subscribe to any religion or faith also get real Christian. What I mean by that is that in Christianity, especially evangelical Christianity, there's the view that Earth is not our home. We're all going to heaven, or at least the good guys, the good ones amongst us, until Jesus comes back, and then he will take the second string draft people. If you were good. Yeah, you gotta be in the second string. Okay, if you made it while he went with the first string, you get to go for the second string. But anybody
get on
left,
the B team.
Sucks for you, dude. So that is in there. That, to a certain extent, I think, has driven what we've been seeing in American politics and in discourse around like white nationalism and also around Christian nationalism specifically. You see folks who are almost consciously trying to destroy this world or bring it to that brink so that it can get to a place of dissolution that will trigger the rapture and take these folks to their eventual home. I think that is similar on the flip side for folks who are the technocrats of the world, because they are absolutely working to destroy Earth so that they have license to go and terraform somewhere else, because today it's Mars, next it's Earth B20, next it's Earth B50, but there's always the view that there's a place better than what we have here. So therefore we must exploit and extract so that we can get to that second heaven, third heaven, seventh heaven.
That's a good point.
And I think that is how people who might think they are not like each other are absolutely like each other. The thought process is the same. It's let's mess this up so that we can go where we're supposed to be.
I mean, that's the whole tech bro ethos, is to move fast and break things, and who cares what happens to the people in our wake. Did you see the interview with the Palantir guy who couldn't admit that he wanted what was best for humanity? Like, he didn't want humanity to keep going. That is who these technocrats are. So, like, yeah, there's absolutely something there.
This is the new religion. I just don't think they know that they are in a religion, because they have perfect God. Perfect God is AI. AI is a God that you can talk to and will talk back to you in English words, right? And then you can impute whatever.
People are confessing.
Yeah.
People confessed to it.
Yeah. And you can impute whatever thoughts you have. It is the perfect God because it is a mirror of yourself, which is what all gods, to a certain extent, are for humanity. And so this is not to make fun of anyone of faith. I am a person of faith. Sheesh, I was talking about astrology at the beginning of the episode, right? But you must ground it in the reality of the situation. Like, these folks are also religious nuts who are trying to destroy this world so that they can go to the heaven that they think is meant for them. Like, Curtis Yarvin is an individual that they listen to. He's a philosopher, quote unquote. And his whole thing is that poor people do not deserve to live and should be liquefied and turned into biogas. That is religion. That is saying that there is a punishment for something you may or may not have done. It's a moral failing to be poor, so therefore this is what you deserve. The lake of fire.
Be smited in this way.
And so I think when I talk to a lot of people who are very pro space colonization and see it as an extension of manifest destiny, obviously these are not words that they use, but that's the idea for me, is we deserve this. We are human beings. We are, if monkeys could do it, they should have, right? And I'm like, you sound as well. You are a religious nut as well. You just don't see yourself as such. But
right,
you
like
are.
That's a cult.
Fully.
Like
This is magical thinking that also is at the core of Christian nationalism, for sure.
Yeah, like this is the indoctrination happening in real time. We're seeing the consequences.
Fully.
Which brings me, I think, to like one of the ultimate risks of space colonization, which I think is if we do it, like if we get out there, we risk losing touch with what makes us human in the first place.
And then I argue both points for myself again.
Yeah. Because I think that is a topic of debate. You know, some people would say it's getting us closer to what it means to be human, if what it means is to explore and be curious and to have this manifest destiny, right? Like no matter what your stance is, I think you can argue for or against this line. But when I say it, I mean losing touch with our roots, losing touch with our place-based stories and knowledge and wisdom.
For sure.
The number of sci-fi stories that have these people generations, thousands of generations divorced from living on Earth, and the words of tree and like sun, like they don't have meaning anymore. And yes, that's not all it means to be human.
But it is a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm wondering like what your thoughts are there.
I will argue both points, especially for this one, because posthumanism is something that I find very fascinating.
Ooh, I haven't heard that word before.
Yes. Like, what does it mean to be like human? And then once we come up with a definition for that, how do we go past it? And just like you were saying, I think our folklore, our cultures, our traditions, it all comes together in the tapestry or mosaic of who we are as beings. But also, isn't the fact that we can terraform ourselves or that culture is what we make it and it is constantly changing and evolving and becoming something new, different. The fact that sun could have a new meaning now. Is that not also super cool? The way we modify our bodies, the way that our bodies also evolve to match what our terrain is, the way that like some of us as human beings have darker skin or lighter skin as a adaptation to our environments, I think is also part of it. And there's another show called The Expanse. And the thought process in that show, or at least the premise, was like we live in a post-Earth, like, or post-space industrialization world. And in that show, you see that all of the planets in our solar system have been colonized. And those folks who now live and work on those planets are so far removed from Earth that they now like refer to Earth-based people as like Earthicans. They see themselves as Neptunians, there's Venusians, there's like, and the thing that I find very cool about the show is that you see folks who may have been on colonies in planets where gravity was low.
Yeah, the belters, right?
Yes, and their bodies adapt to that. And now they look different. Also, the work that they do makes their bodies adapt to that as well. And that's like, I don't know. Now we're humans.
It's interesting.
Yeah, we're humans plus. We're humans asterisk. We're human. Like now we're different. And the curiosity in me absolutely kind of like wants to see that. Wants to see how we evolve, how we change, how we become different. Because I think us modifying and terraforming ourselves, our cultures, our traditions, is also what makes us human as well.
You're right. Yeah, our curiosity and our adaptability is as core to our humanity as, our mortality.
Yeah, and our stoicness and our staticness. Yeah. So that part I find very interesting as well.
Yeah, so I feel like in any serious, consideration of space colonization, like you have to imagine what parts of humanity do we want to hold on to, and what do we want to use to define us as humans as we leave this space that has always been the defining thing. Yeah.
Space Aesop fables would be cool.
Yes. That's what I was thinking, that there would need to be this like very respected role of, you know, like a story keeper, like an archivist type of thing. Yes, exactly.
And that's very true. Like if we use like the transatlantic slave trade as a example, griots absolutely were trafficked as well, and they became the story keepers. They became folks who like tethered folks to culture, and as culture evolved, griots changed as well. They became the blues singers. They became, you know, like shout out to anybody who watched Sinners. Like that is how like culture gets I don't know. I reference media quite a lot.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Keep going.
There's a play called Ain't No Mo by Jordan Cooper. It closed on Broadway far too soon, but it was a sort of magical realism type situation where the U.S. announced that all descendants of enslaved Black people could get a one-way ticket straight to Africa. And so we, as the audience, are beamed in on that final day of the final flight, right before it's about to leave. And we see different groups of Black people all over the country. We see rich Black folks. We see poor Black folks. We see folks who are in line for food stamps. We see folks in mansions, how they're all navigating whether they're going to take that last flight out. And ultimately, one of the characters that's left behind it and tries to go but didn't make it was because she was trying to lug this suitcase that had all of Black American culture in it, but that suitcase was rooted to the earth and couldn't refuse to leave with her.
Oh, I just got like goosebumps. That's so powerful.
And the character that was left behind was the flight attendant who was a queer drag queen. And so it was crazy that the queer person was the one who was trying to bring culture with folks as they were escaping a place that was so hostile towards them. And President Obama was on that last flight too. It was very funny. And yeah, she missed the flight because that culture was so rooted to the earth in a very literal and figurative way. And I think about that in this conversation of like, what does make us human? Because all of our stories, our songs, our hand claps, whatever we've come up with as folks, clogging, river dancing, was in part inspiration that popped out of our minds, but was also us reacting to what's here.
Exactly.
So would we come up with cool Martian breakdancing?
I think we would. Like that's
so.
I teach world building, and the way that I tell people to structure it is to follow the natural waterfall of how worlds are built in real life. The environment forms first, life adapts to that environment, and then culture is a consequence of what you biologically need and what you environmentally have available. So like humans everywhere need to eat. We need shelter. But the cuisines we have and the architecture we have is based on the place.
Absolutely.
And so that would carry on out in space too, where like we still need to do the same things and we would still want to do the same things. We would still dance, but we would be in different gravity. We would have different materials available to us. So like, yeah, it would shift.
That's so interesting. Y'all got seasonings in space.
They do. Oh, imagine the Martian seasoning.
That's what I want to know. Is it going to taste good? That space squid, what is y'all putting on it? What is y'all putting on the space chicken? What is the space chicken going to be fried? What is it? Is it roasted space chicken? What do we eat?
Laser blasted space chicken.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? Because, like, think of how we have Korean fried chicken. I think it's one of the greatest wonderful things that's ever happened, and it happened because of a cultural exchange, unfortunately due to war, but it created Korean fried chicken, which is a fabulous thing, right?
Yeah. Think about the space sushi rito.
You know, talk about it. What is it gonna look like? Okay, when we go space fishing, what are we gonna do with that space catfish? Are we gonna, maybe you're on a planet that's very close to the sun, and then you just hold it up and then it comes back completely toasted, and you're like, well, that was good enough, you know?
You're on the surface of Venus, you just hold it outside your habitat for 0.2 seconds, bring it back in.
Be like, oh man, held it out too long, it's burnt to a crisp. It's crispity crunchity, guys.
You could taste the phosphine. It's so yummy.
Oh, yum 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 yum. I mean, maybe we go surfing on solar flares.
That would be so fun.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I think humans as a species are just so interesting and fascinating that I truly am so curious to see what we come up with.
Mm-hmm. So if we want to see all these things, because exploration is beautiful, how could we make sure, like, what is a set of principles or beliefs or something that would ensure we are doing space exploration and not space colonization?
You know, that's why we started this episode with Star Trek.
It is.
Picard could never stick with the Prime Directive. That's why, hot take, he is not my favorite captain.
Who is?
Janeway.
Janeway all the way. Yes. Thank you.
Janeway. Close second, Cisco.
Fair.
Close third, Go-Go. You know, like she was cool. But yeah, Picard, he not up there because he was so holier than thou and very high and mighty about the Prime Directive. But he was on Pleasure Planets fucking all the aliens. And that every time you saw him, he was in a robe open all the way to the navel, getting it in. Okay? Head shaved for who, Picard? Who was you shaving it for?
That's what the aliens like, okay?
Exactly. He was like, nah, you know, we going to this Pleasure Planet. I gotta make sure I looking good for the space hoes. And that's crazy. So Prime Directive for sure. Do no harm. I think is another one, because I really do think like doctors, at least the ones I've met, like try their best to take that oath seriously. They give care to whomever, no matter what, like who is on the table, you know, like it could be someone with views that are opposing yours, but you know that your job is to help heal them and give them the best care. And I think do no harm to the environment is also something that would be really advantageous to whatever exploration that we're doing. I also got to talk about, is it the Harkness test? This one comes from Doctor Who.
Okay.
One of the doctors' name was Harkness, and he was pretty much a whore. You do get into that phone booth, and you do be going to hella planets and seeing hella aliens. So the Harkness test was like, can this being consent to sex?
Ooh.
Can it consent?
Good one.
Can it understand what is going on? Like, does it have some understanding to be able to consent? And then also, at whatever age it is based on its own culture, would that be cool? Is it an adult based off of its own, like, you know? And yes, because human beings are freaky bastards. I think because we are, and we're here because we are. You know what I'm saying? Like Columbus, I'm not trying to freak you out, guys, but Columbus, the dudes on the boat saw manatees and thought they was mermaids. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you've been at sea for a very long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine space mermaids. We just gotta lay that out.
Oh, that looks soft. Let me land.
We gotta have that conversation before we need to have that conversation. Okay? Like, do no harm. Don't touch nothing. Just like a black bomb in the supermarket. Don't touch nothing. Put your hands in your pockets. You get one toy when you leave. Don't
take stuff. I also feel like we should approach space the way we approach the Appalachian Mountains.
Yes, leave it.
Leave it there. Don't touch it. If you heard a sound, no, you didn't.
Exactly. Because, you know, you go out there, you see some Glee Clark gonna come and talk to you. He's gonna come talk to you and be like, and who is you? And why is you on my lawn?
Right. And as soon as you say a word back, that's when they get you.
And then he gonna vaporize you. But I don't know. I'm dating somebody. She's lovely. And she's a comic book writer who also has had to do some world building as well. And we talked about space exploration quite a bit because we are both very nerdy. And her viewpoint is that by being afraid of Glee Clark, proverbial, I'm actually taking on whiteness and using the imagination of whiteness. I'll explain. When War of the Worlds was aired on radio, like the imagination of like older sci-fi writers, especially white sci-fi writers at the time, was of course they're coming to colonize us. That's what we did.
Right. Projecting their own worst behaviors as their worst fears.
So what if Gleeklarb was more like, oh, hey, how y'all doing? Oh, okay, y'all a little primitive. It's cool. Here's some lasers. Here's how to make infinite food. Kind of like the natives were with Columbus. Again, I brought up Columbus so much, but we are talking about colonization and imperialism. So
it's apt.
It's an apt comparison. What if it was that? Or what if Gleeklarb was more like Genghis Khan and was like, look, I am conquering you, but you can keep your culture and your practices. Give me some of your women, the ones who want to come. Like it'd be that.
The Fermi paradox has all of these different solutions proposed, and a lot of them fall on like similar lines. The idea that we assume the worst intentions and the worst outcomes will ultimately lead us to missing a lot of potentially positive ones. Yeah, Gleeklarb. Like justice for Gleeklarb.
Justice for him. We don't know that man. He might not be a man. And that's why he might be cooler than everybody. He might just be a stoner. What if there's space weed, guys?
Give it to me. Get it now.
What
if we can mine the
weed?
asteroids for space weed, go for it.
Think about it, Doc. There might be space weed and y'all not smoking it right now because you want to go to Mars and conquer it. What if you could just go and smoke space weed? Yeah, like instead of being driven by wanting to bring back all of that space weed to sell here on Earth, just go enjoy the space weed. Be curious about the experience and revel in the fact that you were lucky enough to have it. You know what I'm saying? Come back and be like, guys, I know what you heard about space, bro, but really cool, really great guys high on the other side of the fourth dimension. They're so cool over there, dude. In that black hole, they got all type of space drugs, and none of them get you addicted. See, that's the type of thing I hope we find in space. That would be nice. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. I've really enjoyed this conversation. I've been dying of laughter. Before we go, I want to recommend a book that I started reading when I was prepping for this episode. It's called Ground Control, An Argument for the End of Space Exploration by Savannah Mandel, who's an anthropologist specializing in human relationships with space. Let's go. So, yeah, Ground Control. Shout out to Savannah. I love when people write a book and make a clear stance. Yeah, none of this wishy-washy, both. No, tell me what you think. And put it in the title. Don't make me guess what the book's about. Like, hey, we're not going, and here's why you shouldn't go either. Don't rage bait me. Don't clickbait me with your book title. Yeah. Love it. But that's the last I had thought of. Do you have any final thoughts on space exploration and colonization? I think we should, as humans, just sit our little asses down until we can figure out a better way to go about stuff. So that's one. Let me think. Other media I would like to suggest. Outside of Star Trek and the Seth MacFarlane. Is that Lower Decks? No, not Lower Decks. That's the Star Trek cartoon, I think. Okay. About the engineers. This one was called The Orville. That's the show. The Orville was good. I just think everybody should watch the show Pantheon. It's now on Netflix. It's so freaking good. Because we could talk about transhumanism all day. Because what does it mean to be human when we have an AI? And where does humanity begin if it can now live on a cloud? Again, excellent show, fabulous show. Aside from that, I think Philip K. Dick's work is really cool. AutoFac is amazing. And there are folks on the internet who I do argue with about this stuff. Even though I don't agree with him, his name's Alder, and he does a couple of these talks where I got to talk to some scientists from NASA while we were on Clubhouse. And it was really cool because I was we actually got to argue and debate about space exploration. So that was very cool. But I'm trying to keep an open mind to Gleeklarb. I really am. I can see it. I really am. Yeah. I'm just too curious to not. Yeah, no, you're pressing that door open button on the elevator. I think so. And I don't know how I feel about that. Why am I not just content? This is the Sagittarius part of me. You're aiming that arrow. You're like, well, what am I going to hit next? I want to explore. I want to see stuff. I want to see, do we get flying cars?
Maybe. Flying trains. I'd like a flying train.
Flying train would be fire. Bullet train would be fire.
Yeah, if we could just catch up to the rest of the world,
that would be nice.
That would be nice.
So yeah, I don't know. I want to do stuff, but I don't want it to come at the cost of other people. So yeah. Y'all let me know how you like this episode. I actually want to talk. I could talk about this stuff forever because I don't have any clear answers.
Okay. I would love to have you back. I've really enjoyed this. Yeah.
This was great.
Excellent. Okay, yay. I would love to give you the chance to brag about yourself. Like, what are you working on? Where can people find you online? Because I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Oh, yes. Okay, so you can find me at Critical Grace Theory on IG. Yes, it is a pun. Yes, I did report a homophobic church for 3 months so that I can get that. I had to. It's mine. I deserve it. I'm going to be writing some of this stuff on Substack at Nuclear Arms Grace.
That's so good.
I have thoughts about brain organoids and the philosophical trappings of whether they are human and whether they have achieved consciousness.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes or no? Quick.
Oh, girl.
I don't need to leave it in the episode.
I don't even know. We could talk about it forever because they're using them as batteries to power stuff. And they also have better cognition than AI. They're getting more correct answers than AI, but also because, like the brain is just a big generator. They are siphoning off the electrical impulses to power computers.
Oh, God. That's like an uncomfortably large step closer to the Matrix.
The brain is in the vat.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to look that up and like go down a sad rabbit hole later. Thank you.
It's so freaky. But I want to talk about brain organoids with people. So the place I've cordoned myself off because it freaks out all the normal people on IG is Substack. So I'm going to be posting there. And you can also find me at Critical Grace Theory on TikTok, where it is a mix of conversations like this. And I try to be humorous about other things. So it is a split down the middle. I will be talking about feminism, colonization, imperialism, and then on the other end, silly things, dating, and Love Island. Yes. Which I'm not watching, but is on everything. So I still have commentary.
It's taking up a full third of my brain capacity right now.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah. I think I first saw you on TikTok and then reached out. So
absolutely.
There's cool stuff there.
Yes. And I love, this actually is a question for you, because I love asking smart people what trash TV they watch, because you all do. What is your favorite trash television show?
Oh, it's Love Island.
Oh, there we go.
Without a doubt. I'm watching the UK and the USA versions. I've watched all of Australia. I'm starting South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
But yes, that is a thing that folks who are very, very smart love, is trash television, where your brain doesn't have to be on for a minute. And so that's why I watch 90 Day Fiancé. But then I also think about imperialism of people in that way.
I don't feel like I'm turning my brain all the way off. I feel like I'm switching my brain to people mode.
Oh,
like so much of what I do is not people smarts. Like I'm actually I'm so socially awkward. I
can't tell. We're really vibing.
Yeah. We are, which is good. I'm not good at reading other people and like understanding them intuitively. So reality TV, I know it's not reality, but like seeing how these people act in these awful, like extreme situations is a case study in humanity.
That's why I love Real Housewives of New Jersey or Real Housewives of New York. I love seeing them in their zoo enclosures.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Like, oh, you're going to the Hamptons for enrichment. Like, that's nice. That's nice. You're like a
your playtime.
Yeah, you're like a polar bear that they're throwing fish to. It's nice.
Oh, so good. So good. Grace, I've had an amazing time.
This was dope. Anytime. I'm happy to come talk about nerd stuff all the time. It's amazing.
Awesome. I'm going to take you up on that. So,
let's go.
Listeners, check out Grace's links. Follow her on socials. That way you'll know when she's back on a future episode of Pale Blue Pod. And, no matter how curious you are about space, you still are space. So remember that.
You are Stardust, baby.
Hell yeah. Pale Blue Pod is hosted by me, Dr. Moiya McTier, a.k.a. the universe's bestie. I created the show with original co-host Corinne Caputo, a comedienne extraordinaire, and help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McMullen, and our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton. I am Go Astro Mo everywhere online, and you can stay in touch with the show and the universe by following Pale Blue Pod on Instagram or checking out our website, palebluepod.com. We are a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. So if you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live at multitude.productions. And if you want a shout out on the show and research notes for every episode, you can join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod for just about $1 per episode. Thank you so much for listening to Pale Blue Pod. I'll be back next week. Bye.